when I'm saying, Shivanshu, what is your roll number? I'm saying the same statement, Shivanshu, what is your roll number? So this is what the second one bit angry, first one is bit neutral. So based on paralinguistic feature, you can tailor your voice. That's what it's a non-verbal communication. So next one is called chronemics. Chronemics. Chronemics is all about time. Time, people usually in developed countries, or I'll say first world countries, they place immense importance on time. Like for 10 o'clock, it's dot 10 o'clock to them. But 10 o'clock in developing countries like India and other Asian countries, developing countries, 10 o'clock means 10:15, sometimes 10:30 also. So this kind of attitude is available only and only in third world countries, but in first world countries, they are pretty much punctual. Let me tell you my personal experience. Once I went to University of London for one presentation. My presentation time was scheduled at 10 o'clock, dot 10 o'clock. And the temperature was pretty cold outside. It was around 8 or 10 outside in London at the time. So I was a bit lazy and I took time to reach there. And when I reached there, it was around 10:15, 10:05 or 10:15, somewhere around. So I saw the coordinator has rescheduled my presentation towards the last, because I had a notion that no one will turn up at 10 o'clock because outside temperature is 8 degree or 9 degree. So I thought, let's take some time because people anyway are not going to reach that fast. So that's a lesson for me that 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock for first world countries, but in Asian countries, particularly in India, 10 means 10:15, sometimes even 10:30 as well. Now, people who become successful are there in their life. Say, for example, Amitabh Bachchan. Now, these people are very much punctual when it comes to maintaining time. Now, if you maintain time in a proper manner, you can master it. But if you cannot master the time will take you for a ride. There was a professor named Randy Pausch, Pausch. This faculty is a professor of AI. Was a professor of AI at Carnegie Mellon University, CMU. Carnegie Mellon University. He gave a wonderful lecture on time management. On time management. This video is available in YouTube. You can check his video. Time management, Randy Pausch and Carnegie Mellon University. There you can come across this kind of thing. So over there he narrated how time plays a crucial role. Now, if you ration your time properly, like this much time for studying, this much time for leisurely activities, this kind of thing, it's very good. Next thing is called haptics. Haptics. Next is called haptics. Haptics is all about touch. Haptics is all about touch. Now, when it comes to touch, touch also conveys a very deep meaning. Now, touch can be defined in two different touch, different types of touch I'll discuss. First one is spontaneous, S-P-O-N, S-P, S-P-O-N-T-A-N-E-O, spontaneous, then is accidental. Hope you guys are not taking note. These are very much useful. If you are not taking note, you will miss. I'm not going to repeat, and no one else under the sun is going to repeat all these things. These are important for your uh, interview or personal interview section. If you are not taking note, I don't have any problem, but you might face problem in your future. So this haptics plays a very crucial role in nonverbal communication. Now let me explain. What are the categories of haptics? First one is called accidental haptics. Accidental haptics, for example, you are traveling in a crowded bus, suddenly someone stepped on your foot. This is accidental. This doesn't convey any meaning. This doesn't convey any meaning. Accidental haptics. Next haptics is spontaneous. Now here people are choosing their action. For example, when the baby is crying, if mom takes the baby in her lap and just rocks the baby will go to sleep. Similarly, for example, when you fail, for example, when Anushri, for example, Anushri failed in English, so then she is crying. Then Swarnalata is giving a phone call to Anushri and saying that don't worry because supplementary exams are there. So instead of saying giving a phone call, if you personally meet this lady Anushri and just console her, patting on her shoulder, she will feel much more comfortable than over phone call. Now, this is called spontaneous touch. For example, when a person is crying, if you pat on his shoulder, if you thump on his shoulder, he will feel certain kind of consolation. This touch plays a very, very significant role. When you touch, so when you touch a person who is crying, then it will play a different role altogether than your oral communication. When a baby is crying, if he happens to touch, I mean, if the mother touches the baby, it will give a consolatory kind of thing to the baby. The baby will stop crying. So this is about haptics. Next one is called oculics. 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 Oculics is communication through eyes. Now, as I have, if you remember at the very beginning, I said you should maintain a direct eye contact when you are particularly facing any sort of interview. Because in interview, eye contact plays a very crucial role. Eye contact plays a very crucial role. As I have said, in Indian context, you should look into the eyes of the person who is taking your interview. When it comes to ladies taking your interview, make sure your eye contact is not rude. And whether it's a ladies or whether it's a gent, always remember your eye contact should be soothing in nature. Soothing, soothing in nature. It should not be rude. Always remember, since you are communicating your message through your eyes, make sure it is not at all rude. Because if you are looking at the guy in a rude way, then your body language will say something else and your voice will say something else. And as I have said earlier, whenever there is a contradiction between verbal language and non-verbal language, people who are experienced will always go by non-verbal communication. So immediately you will be thrown out from the interview. So this is all about eye contact. Now, next thing is when what if you are not looking into the eyes of the person? If you are not looking into the eyes of the person, for example, you are looking, I'm delivering a lecture and you are occasionally looking at the window or occasionally looking at the fan that is moving above your head. This shows you are not very much interested in the topics. You are not interested to listen to what I am delivering. So eye contact when the interviewer is asking question, if you are maintaining an eye contact, fine. But if you are not maintaining eye contact, you are looking at the ceiling, you are looking bottom. This conveys a different meaning that you are not interested for that interview. Someone else forced you to face the interview. That's why you have come here to face the interview. So always take care of your eyes. Now, next part is called artifact. 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 Now, artifact is all about non-verbal communication. The motif, motif, or the non-verbal or the things, immaterial things that we wear becomes part of our personality. For example, uh, uh, there is a guy called in Tamil Nadu politics. There is a guy called uh, who is the father of Stalin?
Karunanidhi.
Karunanidhi, good, thank you. So if you look at Karunanidhi, have you seen any picture of Karunanidhi without spectacle? Any picture of Karunanidhi? I'll show you his picture. Any of you seen any picture of Karunanidhi
Yes, sir.
without specs?
No, sir.
Wait a second. I'll share my screen. This is the guy. This is the guy. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the guy known as M. Karunanidhi. He used to play a significant role in Tamil politics. So you will never ever find any picture of this person without specs. Without specs, you cannot really imagine. Now, similarly, people like Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. So without this cap, except this one, without cap, you cannot imagine Jawaharlal Nehru. Similarly, there is another Bengali legendary singer called Manna De. So this cap. Now these are all non-verbal thing. These are immaterial thing, but this plays a very crucial role in identifying a particular person. This specs and this cap. These people are known for their this kind of dressing sense.
Sir,
Now this is
Yogi
what,
ji without saffron.
yes, boy.
Yogi ji without saffron is not imaginable.
Yes. So the idea is these people intentionally choose something which is no, which is immaterial or which is non-living object. Initial days they practice, but afterwards it becomes part of their being. If you remember my first lecture of non-verbal communication, I started with practice, habit, and belief. Do you remember?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So
Yes,
initial
sir.
days you need to practice. For example, there are people who use a particular brand of say deodorant. Initial days you choose a particular brand of deodorant. Initial days, but afterwards, if you use it for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, people will identify you with that particular brand. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru without cap is unimaginable. M. Karunanidhi without this cap is without his specs is unimaginable. These are known as artifact, ARTIFACT. This artifact plays a crucial role in when it comes to interview as well. For example, when you are going to face interview, your dressing sense plays a very, very crucial role. Even before you open your mouth, you enter the room, it takes only 3 seconds. Only 3 seconds. Only 3 seconds to identify whether this is a potential candidate or it is not a potential candidate. Just looking at your body language, the employer will decide yes or no. So the thing is that it's your non-verbal communication. Look at your dressing sense. Wear you don't have to wear anything costly, but the thing is that it should be neatly combed. For example, when you are Tenzin, switch off your camera. Okay, when you are facing interview, hair should be combed, your nails should be in a perfect shape, and your dress code should be in a perfect manner. For example, for boys, it's light color shirt and deep color trouser, and preferably black shoes. Now the same thing applies to girls as well. If you are wearing anything logical, that's fine, but make sure it is not glaring. GLA, it is not glaring in the sense GLA, it's not glaring. It should be always matte finish. It should be always matte finish in the sense there should not be anything glossy in your dressing sense, because this artifact will draw unnecessary attention. That's why I always suggest when you are going to face interview, always go by matte finish. Don't go for anything glaring or anything very glossy. So this is all about artifact. And when you are going to face any interview, you can keep a pen in your pocket also. That's not really much problem. But if you are wearing a full sleeve, make sure the sleeves are not folded. If you are wearing a full sleeve, and it is always suggested that you should face interview with full sleeve shirt. Always suggested you should wear a full sleeve shirt and dark color trouser, preferably black shoes and black belt. So these are the artifact. This plays a very crucial role. And the next one that is left is called kinesics. Kinesics. Kinesics is the body movement of your body. For example, when you are facing interview, and once you enter the interview, before entering the room, you should ask the person, "May I enter?" No, can I? Cannot write. You cannot say can. Can is a dominant word. You cannot say can. You are supposed to say, "May I get in?" May I get in? So this is the language. or this kind of polite thing, or you can, could you please allow me to get in? And once you get an entry, don't sit down immediately unless and until you are asked to sit down. These are all non-verbal communication. These all non-verbal communication shows who you are and what you are. And as I have said, practice, habit, and belief. If you immediately enter the room, once the first candidate cleared, then you pull the chair and sit down. These are all rude behavior. Before you open your mouth, this behavior will say who you are and what you are. So always be sure about what you are doing in your interview board. And this thing plays a very crucial role. So that's all for non-verbal communication. If you have any question, you can ask me. Any
Sir,
question?
what about online interview?
Online interview, as I have said, in the case that paralinguistic feature, only your voice is reaching there. Only your voice is reaching there. So take care of your voice modulation. Modulation is simply ups and downs. Modulation of voice plays a very crucial role, first thing. Second thing is that make sure you have a very strong network signal. Otherwise, if you are saying your name is Srishti Singh, by the time that fellow has already asked you some question. So if there is a lag behind, then it creates a problem. And when you are facing interview online mode, make sure, usually online mode interviews, I mean, not like Corona pandemic. Before this advent of this Corona pandemic, companies like Microsoft, Google only used to conduct online interview initial stage. But after Corona, everyone is conducting online interview. So corona will not prevail for lifetime. So once usually companies come for physical interview, and if the companies are big shot like MNCs, they will first go for initial screening via online. And if you can get through this online, then only they will come to campus for second sort of interview. Is that clear, Srishti?
Yes, sir. Sir, how to maintain eye contact in online mode? That what I am asking.
Online mode is really not very that much easy thing, because your camera thing, you have to always when you are facing the interview, you have to look at the camera all the time. This is a bit difficult, but you have to manage somehow. Okay. And any other question? Clear, Srishti?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And any other question?
Sir, and voice how can we change, sir? It is natural then
No, no, no.
can
It's
we
not. I'm
enter
not
the
asking you
modulation
to
of
change
voice?
the voice. No, that's a foolish thing. That's a foolish thing. Now, I'm not asking you to change your voice, but the way you are speaking should be common sensible. For example, you don't lose your temper. For example, if you lose your temper, the interviewer will catch you there. The way you are speaking, absolutely fine. No problem at all, because that is God gifted thing. We cannot change that. We are not supposed to do that. But only thing is that you maintain a decorum. That's called a paralinguistic feature. That's called modulation of the voice. Instead of saying Jack and Jill went up the hill, if I say Jack and Jill went up the hill, do you get to know the meaning? Second case, Vivek.
No, sir.
So first one is more appealing because I'm giving pause, I'm giving space, then I'm saying Jack and Jill went up the hill. But instead of that, if I say Jack and Jill went up the hill, this doesn't make any sense. That's a modulation. That's a space. That's a time. Is that clear, Vivek?
Yes, sir. Now I got it.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. As I have said earlier, if you guys are not asking me question, fine, we'll proceed, because it's your life. If you are not asking me question, fine, you understood. And I'll not ask you any question. I'll just simply say, if you have understood, fine. If you have not understood, not asking any question, that means by default, you have understood everything, which is not really possible. So every class, I'm not supposed to repeat all these things. You guys are not kid anymore. You are reading in a college, and you should know, you should take care of your own life. This is not a school that teacher will ask you question and you will ask. These are all important thing for your career. If you are not interested, I'm really not bothered about what you are doing. But it's your career. If you are not asking me question, absolutely fine with me. Shashank, please.
I
Sir,
have a
sometimes in
question.
sometimes in the interview, more than one people sit five or something. So when we
We
sit
will
in the
discuss that
interview,
in
do we
next
have to
segment.
look?
Different types of
Okay,
interview
sir.
will go it in unit 4.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you have any non-verbal question, you can ask me. Question related to non-verbal communication, you can ask me. Okay.
Sir,
So
I
what
have
about hairstyle?
sir, sir,
Yes, Sumran.
how can I improve a body language? Can you recommend? How can I improve body language?
Improving body language, you need to watch people of eminence, how they maintain a decorum when it comes to public forum. For example, watch the speech of this guy Shashi Tharoor, particularly when he's addressing the gathering. These people will give you, or any political leaders of good eminence, not any political leaders of good eminence. Remember, for example, Vladimir Putin, Barack Hussein Obama, or say George W. Bush, Oprah Winfrey. People of this stature are really good when it comes to nonverbal communication. Clear?
Yes, sir. And
Any other?
I have a doubt regarding
Sir,
paralinguistic features. Can you?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
So
Sumran?
what about
Okay, Tarun, please go ahead.
the hairstyle? And second one is, if I am not holding any file or anything in my hand when I go to an interview, what should be my hands movement so that they can comprehend that
Hands,
it's
should be preferably on your lap, and your legs preferably not crossed. Cross leg is not really a good attitude, though some people say cross leg is good, but I will rather say cross leg is not really good posture. You should
and
keep your you should keep your hands on your lap, not on the table as well.
sure, sir.
Shivanshu 92. Tarun, am I clear?
Sir, what?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shivanshu, go ahead.
Sir, what should be my body language while leaving an interview?
While leaving an interview, for example, if you're sitting in a chair, push back the chair, and before leaving, say thank you. That's all. Don't ask for any result or anything else. Just before leaving, say thank you. That's all. And close the door.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Vivek Singh,
Sir, does body posture matter? Like someone is hunching over the chair or someone's spine is not straight. It matters or not?
Vivek, can you please come again? I'm not able to get you. Can you repeat, Vivek?
Sir, like somebody, yes, like some people have wrong posture. They like they never sit with their back straight, and
When they walk, also, it looks like something.
They are bending.
Yes, sir.
So it is suggested that when you are facing interview or when you are facing any sort of class as well, you should straight sit upright. Back should be upright, straight. But if you have problem, that we cannot help it. But you should always sitting in an interview should back should be straight. Your back should be straight. But if you have a medical issue, we can understand that. Anything else?
Sir, sir, non-verbal communication can reinforces the verbal communication.
Non-verbal communication.
Reinforces the verbal communication.
If you are good communication, or rather I'll say if you are a good communicator, your verbal communication or non-verbal communication should reinforce each other. But if you are not a good communicator, you will say something, you will mean something else. There in Indian politics, you will get many examples like this.
Yes,
Clear? Okay,
yes, sir.
Basudev,
Yes.
106.
Sir, sir, I want to ask that there are different kind of smiles. I mean, not a smile, just an affirmation to the interviewer. So, what is the means? What should be a correct smile, or because sometimes the people
There
just
are, I'll tell you, there are 10 types of smile. 10 types of smile. Trust me, there are
sir,
10 types of smile. Like one is smile, another is wheat, then is fun, then is called sneaker, then called GIGG giggle, then CHUCKLE, chuckle, LAUGHTER. How many? Smile, wait, fun, sneaker, giggle, chuckle, laughter. These 7 variety I remember, but there are 10 types of smile. The first one is the best one. This is smile. I'll show
Sometimes.
you a picture. I'll show you a picture. What is smile? Because these are all variety of smile. So
Sometimes the interview may interpret that if we are smiling to a particular question, that means we are taking his questions very lightly. So I'm
wait,
just
wait a
asking to
second. Wait a second. I'll show you. This is a smiling face. This one. But this is not a smiling face. Please. This is the smiling face. So there are 10 types of smile. So as I was saying, when that interviewer is asking a question, and if you are smiling, don't act in a nonsense manner and don't act smart also. For example, you don't know the answer for the question, but you said you know the answer, then you are doing a wrong thing. People might catch you because the people who are taking interview are senior than you. They have been taking this interview since 5 or 10 years, so they know better than you which, whether you are lying or you are truthful. They'll catch you. Is that clear, Shivanshu?
yes.
Shivanshu, any question? Shivanshu 98.
Sir, in an interview, before entering the room of interview, CCTV cameras are there and they started to see their body language before entering their room. Is it right?
It is not before entering the room. Really doesn't matter, but usually what is expected, like I'll discuss it in more detail in unit 4. That's called pre-interview behavior. Pre-interview or waiting room behavior. Usually, waiting room behavior is important for the candidate, not for the people who are taking your interview. In unit 4, I'll discuss about waiting room behavior. Remind me, I'll discuss. Vinita Sahu, 111.
Sir, if interviewer asks some question which requires us to think on that, we usually we look upward or we does not look into the eye of interviewer. Is it
No,
a good sign?
that time it is accepted. For example, you don't know the answer. For example, if you don't know the answer and if you look up and down, this is also lack of confidence. But usually questions like if you don't know the answer, looking at the window, you are not supposed to get the answer. Right, Vinita? So, for
Yes.
example, if you need some sort of calculation, you say, give me a moment or so, then you can think. But before that, don't look into the floor or don't look at the top ceiling. Say, I need 1 minute
Okay.
or 2 minutes to think about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shashank, 93.
Sir, should we keep a smile on our face while entering the interview room?
Uh, it, it is better to keep a smiling face. I will not say always smile unnecessarily. Smiling face is always better. Subudha Tejesh,
Sir, what is motive?
motif is, I'll tell you the dictionary meaning motif. Wait a second, give me a moment. M-O-T-I-F, motif. Okay, let me share my screen. My screen is visible.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. A single or recurring image forming a design, like Jawaharlal Nehru with a cap, or say M. Karunanidhi with a specs. These are all recurring image. That's what I said. It's a motif. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Tarun Gupta.
So, what to do if the interviewer asks you a question and you don't have the appropriate answer?
Simply say, perhaps I don't know the answer.
Is it
But
to
don't
say I
pretend.
will?
Don't pretend. Just simply say you don't know the answer. That's all.
Like, can you just
Okay.
say it
See,
once
it
time?
is not expected from a candidate to know everything. For example, when we face interview for faculty position, many people the people ask question, but many people, for example, let me tell you my experience in IIT Kharagpur. When I was giving interview for PhD, as a PhD student, I faced my interview for PhD admission. People were there. It's in humanities and social science department, which means not only English. It means in Kharagpur, it's having sociology, and then neurology, then psychology, then philosophy, then and economics. All these people are there in the interview board. And this time, that time, when I'll be taking class on interview skill in fourth unit, that time I'll say this is an interview called panel interview. Here the number of experts are more and the candidate is one. It's simple like tandoori fry. Simply आपका chicken tandoori बन रहा है, and they are asking you question one after another. Rapid fire round. Are you familiar?
Yes, sir.
So it's a kind of rapid fire round. One professor asked me, "World is flat. Have you, have you read the book?" There is a book by Thomas Friedman, and fortunately, I read that book in Wikipedia. So I said, "Yes, I read that book in Wikipedia." So before I complete my answer, another fellow asked me from a philosophy domain, so which I don't know. So I simply said that, "Sorry, I don't know the answer." So simply say no. But if you are pretending that you know the answer, and suddenly that fellow said that, "Okay, give me the answer," then if you give a wrong answer, then you are gone. Got my point?
Yes, sir. So just say it. Sorry, I don't know. I will work
Yes,
on that.
just simply say sorry, because you are not supposed to know everything, because your brain doesn't have an USB port.
Should I say I will work on that?
It is better not to, because you will work on that. That is better, good. But for the time being, it is of no use. Na? Even if you say or don't say, doesn't matter. Na?
Yes, sir.
Srishti will discuss later something else, because we have very less time, and 16th Feb is our unit MCQ2. Sometime
Okay,
else we'll
sir.
discuss.
After MCQ, sir.
Okay, fine. Sometime we will discuss.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Anything
Thank you, sir.
else?
Sir, one more question.
Yes, boy.
The way my look and my clothing, grooming, and posture telegraph or delayed the non-verbal message about me, isn't it? It is true or not during interview, sir?
Come again. I didn't get you, man.
Sir, the way my look, my clothing, grooming, and posture telegraph or delayed non-verbal message about me.
Telegrapher delayed message means, I didn't get you.
Means
What is your
to
telegraph?
how
Telegraph, that is it, that apps that you are talking about?
no, it's a question. Delayed means to how can represent.
समझ में नहीं आ रहा, हिंदी में बोलो बेटा.
सर जैसे कहने का मतलब है कि जब मैं अपना इंटरव्यू में जाते हैं तो जो मेरा लुक है या मेरा जो क्लोथिंग है, कपड़ा मतलब जो पहना हुआ उसके बेसिस पर वो नॉन वर्बल मैसेज जज कर सकता है मेरे बारे में कि क्या मतलब है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल जज कर सकते हैं. इसीलिए I said that the moment you enter the room, it takes 3 seconds for us, only 3 seconds, not even a minute, to identify whether this is the candidate, yes or no.
Okay.
So that's what I said, that आपका dressing sense ठीक होना चाहिए.
Yes.
Because here, all over the world nowadays, packaging sells. Packaging sells. If you don't have, for example, Kharagpur, we used to see that all the people didn't have, say, black shoes or tie or white shirt. So what people used to do, they used to borrow. That's quite normal. That's quite normal.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have, like, I didn't have, so I borrowed from my friend. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
It's not a big deal. But when you are going to face the interview, don't give any sort of shit that I am this, I am that. People give a damn to it. Like the people who are coming to take the interview, they are not there to listen to all this kind of shit. That आपका teacher हिंदी में पढ़ा रहे थे, आपका English ठीक नहीं है. Because let me be very frank with you guys. Training and placement session may every year we conduct feedback from companies. Like whichever company comes to NIT Raipur, we take their feedback. How is the candidate? So the major problem that all these companies, starting from Shell, then Capgemini and Adobe, all these people are saying only one thing, that's your communication. It's pretty poor because the problem is that we are taking class in first year, first semester, and you forget everything about it. Everything. I mean, third year you go for your placement session. By the time you face the interview, you forgot everything whatever I have taught. I taught you in your first year, first semester about non-verbal communication. And their company is giving a damn. Like if you said that, for example, Shreyans Pandey is giving interview and occasionally he is using Hindi also. So the interviewer is asking, why are you using Hindi? Then Shreyans, for example, will say, हमारा टीचर तो हिंदी में ही पढ़ाते थे, तो इसीलिए हमको इंग्लिश ठीक से नहीं आता है. People give a damn whether some people are taking in Hindi or some other subject. People give a damn. They are not there to listen to this kind of shit. Got my point? When you are going to face the interview, packaging plays a very, very crucial role. And your dressings, I'm not asking you to decorate yourself, but it should be decent. Got my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other question? No question. Okay. So I'm going to the next formal communication. I think after this, there is a break, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
10
sir.
more minutes.
This
I
is the
need 10
last
more
round.
minutes to close this session. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Please allow me 10 more minutes because we have very less time, because I given much time to this non-verbal communication because I feel non-verbal communication is important for you guys. So next one is called formal communication. Formal communication, the basic difference between formal and informal communication is informal communication. You do not have any sort of record in formal communication. Like when you are speaking to your friend, it's called informal communication. But when you are speaking to your teacher, it's a formal communication. And whenever it's a formal communication, you are supposed to maintain a formality. If you are breaking the protocol, you are disgracing your own self. So formal communication, we stick to the protocol which is already in practice. Like when you are facing interview, it's a protocol that you should not wear denim or t-shirt, and you should not go there in a sports shoes. These are protocol, because protocol is already fixed. Someone else has fixed the protocol, and we are simply there to follow the protocol. We are not supposed to challenge the protocol. If you are challenging the protocol, people will say simply go to hell, who cares? If you are going to face interview in denim jeans and t-shirt, people really give a damn what you are doing. But if you are not getting selected, whose life it is? It's your life. Your life you are jeopardizing. So formal communication is all about talking about formal thing. Formal thing in the sense the etiquette, the protocol, the status quo that people usually maintain. Formal protocol can be divided into three heads. First one is called upward, then called downward, and down spelling mistake is there. Then another is called crisscross, CRIS, crisscross. These three types of communication. First one is called upward, second one is called downward, spelling mistake is there. Third one is called crisscross communication. Usually in a government office, we maintain a hierarchy. Always director is at the top of our institute. So whenever we are writing to director, we are not supposed to write directly to the director unless it is absolutely necessary, because that's a protocol. For example, you have a problem, you have a problem in your department. So if you directly write to the director that mechanical department you are facing problem, directly to the director, what the director is supposed to do, director will ring back the HOD of mechanical engineering and will say what is the problem. Ultimately it's coming down. So the logic in government sector, it's always you should follow the protocol. Like your immediate boss, who is your immediate boss? Your head of the department. If you have a problem in your mechanical engineering class, you address the problem with your head of the department. If the head of the department is not in a position to sort it out, then there is a dean also, dean student welfare. Now you approach dean student welfare that I approach HOD with this problem, but he could not give me solution, so I came to you. If the dean student welfare is also not able to give you any solution, then you go to dean academics. Then there is a guy called registrar. Then you go to director. These are all protocol. You are not supposed to break the protocol by any means. If you are breaking the protocol, people are supposed not to entertain you. For example, you have a problem with your head of the department. You can go and approach your dean. You can approach your dean's student welfare. After that, if he is not able to give you solution, go to registrar. And if all these people are not able to give you any solution, then only go to director. These are protocol which is highly followed in all government protocol, all government system. Government system is based on hierarchy. Like you have a problem with your municipal corporation, you are not supposed to write Amit Shah for that, because Amit Shah is a home minister and you say that your corporation people are creating problem. So you think that Amit Shah is going to take care of it. No, you have a problem, you approach your local authority. Local authority, if they is not in a position to give you the solution, then approach the municipal chairman. Then if the municipal chairman not in a position, then go to BDO, block development officer. If the BDO is not able to give you solution, go to DM. If the DM is also not able to give you solution, either go to chief minister or go to some other department which is concerned with this thing. Now, when you are moving upward, for example, you as a student talking to your teacher, this is called upward. Or upward, UPWA. This is called upward. For example, you as a kid talking to your father, this is known as upward communication. Upward communication, and when father is talking to you, that's called downward. When father is talking to you, when the director is talking to me, this is called downward communication. These are all utopian concept in the sense, in our real life, we do not stick to only upward and only downward. Rather, we go for crisscross. Like I am speaking to you, which is downward communication. At the same time, I am communicating to the director as well. So this kind of thing is known as crisscross communication. Usually, people of same stature, we go for a lateral communication also. LATERA. Lateral communication is, for example, Unnati is first year, first semester. Srishti is also first year, first semester. So when Unnati is speaking to Srishti, this is called lateral communication or straight away communication. So there are four categories: upward, downward, lateral, and crisscross. So is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Usually formal communication, it's a straight away question. What are the formal communication methods? That time you have to give a diagram as well. I'll show you an image. This
Sir,
is called, okay, any question?
sir, lateral and informal both are same.
Wait a
Like
second.
with
Wait,
front
wait,
also.
I'll show you an image. Then you can ask me. Wait a second. I'm looking for a particular picture. Once I get it, I'll show you. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is called downward communication. This is the institutional hierarchy. Top level, mid level, then this thing. Now it's a downward communication. Opposite is upward communication, and This is lateral communication. People in the same hierarchy is called known as lateral communication. Someone asked me a question.
Sir, lateral and informal both are same.
Lateral and informal, yes. But in many cases, people differentiate because, for example, you are speaking to your friend, that's informal. But you, as a first year student of IT department, talking someone to mechanical engineering, you initial stage because you are, if you remember my last class, you are the last segment of proxemics. So you will start initially in a formal way. For example, when Unnati is speaking to some other boy or other girl in other department, Unnati will start in a formal manner because they are at the last layer of proxemics. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Any other question?
So could you explain crisscross communication once again?
Crisscross communication is not maintaining the hierarchy properly. For example, when I am speaking to you, it's a downward communication. But the same person I am talking to the director, this is upward communication. So a person in real life maintains this kind of this kind of communication, which is known as crisscross, because only upward and only downward in real life usually do not exist. Because the same person, for example, your father talking to you, which is downward, but at the same time your father is talking to his grandfather as well. What my point?
Yes, sir. The combination of upward and downward communication that you mean.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Any other question? No question. Okay. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, चले गए